Minute and a half left on the clock. The boats mill about here on the Ohio River for the final of the Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup. There's the Pico American Dream. This will be a 4 boats in the front, 2 boats behind start, Steve.
The race course not wide enough to allow more than 4 boats safely to negotiate that first turn. So it'll be 4 boats in the front row. The 2 trailer boats have to start 10 seconds behind the front row.
As we come down to a minute to the start, the Miss Budweiser will be in the front row, as will this boat, Freddie's Club Prime Star, with Steve David. A nice position after some tough going earlier. The Pico American Dream and the Northwest Unlimited with Dr. Ken Muscatel in the second row. The Master Tire, the 5th boat, and the 6th will be the hometown Miss Madison, which tied in points with the Carpenter Communications but had less time racing in the heats, and therefore it is in, and the Carpenter Communications is out. Heading down now towards 30 seconds to the start of the race. They've got their lanes pretty well selected. Let's go down to the dock where Steve Montgomery is all set to get us lined up.
The draw has not given us the Pico American Dream and the Miss Budweiser in the same heat all day. Now in the final, they will be. Can Mark Evans and the Pico make a bonsai start like the one in Kelowna and run with the red boat? Can the Chihuahua, Steve David, and the Freddie's Club Prime Star be a factor? Here's our winner-take-all final heat.
Pico in lane 1, Budweiser in lane 2.
And a great start by Mark Evans in the Pico. He crept slowly up the backstretch, took lane 1. Right now he is ahead, and he is in control of this race, as you can see from the first turn view from our O'Doul's Eye in the Sky.
Into the backstretch for the first time here, the Kentucky side of the river. Pico running out hard and fast. Budweiser on the outside of him, trying to make up the distance quickly. So far, not able to do it is Dave Villwock.
Pico apparently able to match the Budweiser in shoot speed right there, which is a very optimistic sign for the Leland team. You see the Budweiser back in the rooster tail now. He has a long ways to go to get around the Pico, and Mark Evans is going to make this race course as wide as possible for Dave Villwock.
Boy, he's really pushing him out there, Steve.
Whoa! The Budweiser ran right over one of the outside marker boys. There may have to be a call there one way or the other. The Pico pushed the Budweiser way out wide. May have been a little too wide, John.
We've talked so many times about how Mark Evans will run it tight to the buoys. The exact opposite here, pushing Budweiser out so far that Villwock maybe had nowhere to go but into that buoy.
Even coming down the front straightaway, you can see the Pico is in about lane 4, and the Budweiser just has room to run inside of those outside marker buoys. Now the Bud trying to make up some of that distance. Still no call. We are waiting to hear from the officials whether the Pico is okay at this point.
Pico still in the lead. Budweiser well wide around that turn. I can just see Dave Villwock inside the cockpit with his teeth gritted say, oh, I'm coming to get you now, Mark Evans.
The Pico is running very, very well, and if indeed there is a penalty assessed, Mark Evans is going to be very disappointed because it appears that he can just about run with the Bud. Here we have now our O'Doul's Eye in the Sky view. You see the Pico, then the Bud. Well, the Budweiser may have slipped out a little bit further than he had to, so we'll have to wait for the call on this one, but you can see what happened. Now remember, the driver on the outside has to react to the boat on the inside. It's impossible to carve a perfect turn right there. Dave Villwock obviously had no idea.
Here comes the buoy.
He couldn't see a thing. When the water cleared away, the buoy was there. This will be a tough call, and we're going to have to wait to hear from the officials on that one.
And in the short time it took to watch that replay, Dave Villwock has come up and blown right by Mark Evans on the Pico American Dream, and Budweiser now leads this race. And in fact, Villwock coming up here on lap traffic, the Master Tire with Mark Webber.
That is Ken Muscatel in the Northwest Unlimited. He is running 3rd on the race course. He has now moved up into 2nd because we have received word that the Pico American Dream will be penalized 1 lap for pushing the Budweiser out a little too far. So move the Pico back. The Budweiser's in the lead. Dr. Muscatel is 2nd, and Freddie's Club will be running 3rd.
Dr. Ken earlier in this program talked to us about being consistent, keeping on running. It looks like it's going to pay off for his team right here. But here, once again, the Budweiser. Dave Villwock from the O'Doul's Eye in the Sky now running it nice and smooth, not too tight. He's got a good solid lead, and he plans on keeping it that way.
When the red boat is out ahead, nobody is going to run him down. But we had some excitement there for a while as Mark Evans on the inside took control of things. Had he not pushed quite so far, John, we might have a big story developing right here.
We've seen over and over again the sometimes friendly, sometimes tense rivalry between Dave Villwock and Mark Evans. Mark, of course, who drove the Bud a couple of years ago, and Dave drove the Pico, then reversed. Ken Muscatel just keeping that boat going. Now back in second place, and the Master Tire running strong with Mark Webber driving.
The Master Tire also moves up a spot, but he is in danger of being lapped by the Pico American Dream, which will move him back down. You see the Pico still running second on the race course, but there are other boats ahead of him now as a result of the penalty.
Dave Villwock crosses the finish line, takes the checkered flag, another championship for the Budweiser team. Here's the Miss Madison, which now finds itself in third place. Steve David spun out in the last turn. Down the bottom of the results, you see the Master Tire did not make it to the end. Dave Villwock did. Steve's with him.
David, that was fast and loose.
Yeah, Mark Smith and the Budweiser crew, they really set that boat up to really fly, and that's what we did. We put her on the outside and used all the mile per hour it had in it, you know. And this morning, August 3rd, came in to sort of inspect what we were doing, and he was pretty happy when we left, but I'm sure he's a lot happier right now. He really helped us push us out front. He's a heck of a motivator, and our hats off to him, Budweiser, Rouse, Las Vegas, all that helped put on this tremendous race.
And Bernie, all that flying is okay with you?
Well, no, it isn't, but there's not much I can say about it now after he won. I would have a hell of a time holding him down now.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you.